What's up everybody, welcome back or to the channel. So today we're going to be doing another modification on my 2020 Honda Talon 1000x4 right behind me. And what we're going to be doing today is adding a SuperATV rear windshield. Now I already currently have a solid front windshield and I will be replacing that one soon with a flip up windshield, but I do not currently have a windshield on the back. And the main purpose of adding a windshield on the back is for overall general protection, but also to keep a lot of debris from coming into the cab. Because when you're riding a four-seater UTV without a back windshield, and you're really riding into an area that has a lot of dirt and dust and debris, you end up getting a lot of that debris circulating back into the cab from the back. So by putting a rear windshield on the back, it should help keep a lot of that dust and debris out of the cab. And on top of that, if you have a rear windshield, it usually will help quiet down the sound inside the cab so that when you're talking to your passengers, you could hear each other a little bit better. So without further ado, let's jump in and get this project started. Okay, so again, here's my 2020 Honda Talon. And if you come over here on the back, you will see that there is no rear windshield put on right now. But it seems like a lot of the dirt, dust, and debris that gets spun up from the back wheels comes up and comes right through the back and then starts getting circulated through inside the cab. Now, I do have a front windshield on right now, but I am selling this. I have a guy coming to buy it this week, and I will be replacing this with a flip-up SuperATV windshield, and we'll get into that in a separate video. But for today, I wanted to add a rear windshield on the back so that it will keep a lot of the debris out of the cab and will also help quiet down the sound of the engine in my pre-filter for my air intake. So again, the rear windshield that we're putting on today is the SuperATV rear windshield that is specifically cut and made for the Honda Talon to fit the contours of the back roll cage here. So it should give us full complete protection along the whole roll cage down into this little low spot here, and then all the way up across the top. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the new windshield we're going to be installing. Okay, so here we are here. Now your rear windshield from SuperATV.com will show up in a pretty large box like this. It's not very heavy, so don't worry about that, but it will show up in a big box. So let me go ahead and open this up. We'll pull the rear windshield out and we'll lay it across the top of the bench here and take a closer look at it. So I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, so we got it out of the box. So inside the box, this windshield will be wrapped with a bunch of the bubble wrap there to help protect it. So this is a clear windshield. It's just covered with this blue protective film. So once you get it installed, we can peel that off and we'll be good to go. Now this is that new polycarbonate material that's about 250 times stronger than glass. So if you're looking for a windshield front or back, just be aware there are different materials that they're made out of. There's primarily glass and polycarbonate, but you can also get acrylic. But most common, it's going to be the polycarbonate because it is a lot stronger than glass. However, there are pros and cons to each one. Glass might scratch a little bit less, but glass can also break a little easier. The polycarbonate might scratch a little bit, but it's going to be very difficult to break these. So I really like the quality of these windshields. I ended up getting some SuperATV decals here, and then you have your hardware pack. Inside this hardware pack, there will be a rubber gasket that we will have to apply to the entire outer perimeter of this windshield. And then you will have your clamps and your brackets and your straps. So let me go ahead and start getting this unwrapped and take out all the parts, and then we'll work on getting this installed. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, now one of the very first things you should do before you start actually installing anything is do a trial test fit of the windshield onto the back of your side-by-side. So let me go ahead and try to put this into place. I might have to take my pre-filter off to do this. Okay, so it looks like it fits pretty good there. Okay, so as you can see here, I just sat it in place to do a trial test fit. Everything looks like it fits real well. It comes to the edge of the entire roll bar. It comes up real high across the top. And I'm really happy with this upper lip up here because I thought it was gonna stop at the roll cage here and there would be a gap across the top, but it actually comes all the way to the top, which is really good there. And then it comes all the way over to the sides. It covers the whole roll cage over here, and it follows all the way down into the crevice here and then back up. So again, these are typically pretty easy to install. So let's go ahead and start opening up the hardware bag and let's get this installed. Okay, so before we get started, the first thing we want to do is, like I said before, do a trial test fit of the windshield against your vehicle. Now I've already did that as I just showed you. So the next thing we want to do is remove the blue protective film from both sides of this windshield. Okay, so we're back. So now that I got the blue cover taken off, now we got to start putting on our rubber gasket seal. Now, there is a specific place you want to start the rubber gasket, and it's going to be at the top. So right here, this little cutout, that's the bottom of the windshield. And this piece right here that my hand's touching, that actually faces the inside of the vehicle. So under here is going to be the outside. So you're gonna have to put a top bracket in up here, and it looks like this. So you're basically gonna take your upper bracket like this. Now you want this curve to face up, okay? So basically right now, I'm pointing at the inside of the windshield. If you can kind of see it here with the glare, you want it to face up. Then you're gonna take your bracket here and lay it like that, okay? You want that little flange right here to face down. Okay, just like that. Then we're gonna get 2 bolts and 2 nuts out of the hardware bag, and we're gonna put them up from the bottom and put a nut right here. So once you have your bracket in place, again, with the flange here facing down, like that, you're gonna get one of the smaller Allen head bolts like this. You're gonna put one of your sealing washers on. That basically is just a metal washer with a rubber gasket. You're gonna put that on like that. And then you're gonna put your bolt in from underneath, so that the rubber sealing washer is on this side of the windshield. So we're gonna come up from underneath like this, and then just take one of your nuts that look like this, stick it right on the top, like that. And then you're gonna take your next bolt after you put your sealing washer on. It looks just like that. Put that up from the bottom. Okay, so again, I didn't tighten it down all the way. I just basically hand tightened it for now. But now that I have this top bracket on, this gives me a starting position of where I want to start my gasket. So I'd start my gasket right here, work it away all the way around the perimeter, and then we're gonna end it right here. Now again, when you're dealing with the gasket, let me lay it over here. Okay, there's this side here that's gonna clamp up against the windshield. This is your ball seal here at the very end. You want to orientate this seal so that this rubber portion I'm touching with my finger here, this portion here, is facing the inside of your machine. And to make it a little easier on yourself, I would suggest a rubber mallet, because that way, as you're pressing the seal against the windshield, you can just keep tapping it with the rubber mallet to get it pressed on all the way. You can do it with your hand or just kind of tap it with your palm. That's fine too, but you want to make sure the seal gets pushed on all the way tight, all the way around. And when you get into these little corner crevices like this, okay, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So just take your time and bend the seal into that corner crevice like that, and then tap it with your mallet or tap it with your hand, however you got to do it. But I would not recommend using like a regular hammer, because that could end up causing damage to the actual windshield. So let me get working on that and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So I got the seal put on all the way around. I have the extra edge over here that I have to still cut off. But again, I just started by the edge of my bracket, went all the way around, As you can see here, getting into these little crevices here, you just have to kind of bend it into the shape and then tap it in with your rubber mallet. And then you get it around all the way around like this. Okay? And you're just gonna tap it in and then come all the way around. So then what I would do is once you get to this point here, go back around with your rubber mallet and just do a final little tap job all the way around to make sure the seal is really on there tight all the way around. Then you're gonna come back up to the edge here, cut the excess off. So using some type of wire cutters like these would probably be better recommended. Cut that excess off right at the edge of your bracket here, and you'll be good to go. So let me do that real quick, and we'll move on to getting this mounted onto the machine. Okay, so now I went ahead and flipped the actual windshield over. Then we're gonna go ahead and take the windshield and set it up into place and start putting our brackets on. As of right now, the only bracket you should have installed is this one right here. And then you do your rubber gasket. And then once we get it put into position, we'll go ahead and add our lower brackets and our side straps. So let me set the camera up and we'll put this on the machine. Okay, and then the next thing you want to do before you start mounting your windshield into position is take that top bolt off right there, right in the center, because that's where your bolt is gonna go from the top of the bracket you put on your windshield. It's gonna bolt directly to that. Now, what you might want to do is if you have any kind of speakers or anything like that hanging from your rear roll cage here, you might wanna just loosen the brackets up temporarily, just in case you need to shift it forward or out of place just while we're getting the windshield mounted. So let me go ahead and remove that bolt. I'm gonna loosen up the brackets to my Bluetooth speaker, and then we're gonna get this put on. So I'll be right back. So let's go ahead, take our windshield and try to slide it in. I'll try to come over here. Try to come in from an angle or whatever works best for you. And once you get it into this position, because of the rubber gasket seal, it might feel a little tight, so you're just gonna have to kind of work it into place. So you're gonna have to kind of shimmy it into place like that. Come over to this side. Okay, so it doesn't look like my speaker's in the way, so that's good. But we have to get it. There we go. All right, so that's what you want. You want to make sure you kind of press it up close enough because you need this windshield gasket to press up against your frame. And then once you have it into position, then you're going to go ahead and take your metal brackets that look like this. You're going to take your bolt here with your rubberized washer, press it on so that the rubber washer is facing away from the head of the bolt, like that. So you're gonna do that on all 4 bolts. Then on the inside, you're going to take your bracket like this, okay? You want that flange at my fingers, you want the flange facing down at the bottom like that. But on the inside, you're gonna put it on like this so that on the inside, the bracket is up against your frame here. And then from this side, you're gonna put your bolts through the outside with the nuts on the inside. So once you get this in position, press it into place, make sure you go all the way around and make sure it's seated in the right position. Then we're gonna go ahead and put our brackets on the inside. Then the next step is once you get your windshield into position, you get your bottom brackets mounted on, you're gonna take your bolt that comes with the kit and you're gonna put that up at the top because that top flange there lines up with the flange on the top of your roof. We're gonna bolt that down. And then the final step, we're just gonna go ahead and take our straps and put them through the side straps here and wrap them around this side of the frame. So let me get working on that and I'll be right back and I'll show you how it all turns out. Okay, so we got the windshield on so far. I got the bottom brackets tightened down. I have the top bracket tightened down as well. And I did use a little blue Loctite up there, and I did use a little blue Loctite on the nuts at the bottom. Then when you're putting your straps on the side, it's very simple. I'll come over here and show you. Basically what you're gonna wanna do is unstrap your strap. Then from the outside, this little plug right here goes through that hole. You press it up nice and tight against the frame. This strap goes around, comes up under this little metal bar in here, and then you pull it through, and then you strap it back to the Velcro. So basically you want it to look like this over here. The plastic plug is on the outside, and then you come over here, and then it's just strapped like that. So let me go ahead and put my last strap on the other side. Wipe this off a little bit because I got a lot of my greasy fingerprints all over it. So let me clean that up and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're done. So let's take a quick look. As you can see here, I wanted to kind of give you a side profile. It kind of comes flat down, and then it comes down a little bit of an angle, and then it comes back out. And then it does dip back down over there into that crevice there. And then the top comes up, and it goes up on an angle that way. But overall, it looks pretty good. It fits pretty good. Again, it was a little bit difficult to get the top clamp to line up. I had to do a little bit of shimmying side to side, pressing in on it to kind of get that top bolt to line up. Now, again, I will say this. There is no instructions in the box on how to put this together. So again, you have to kind of either figure it out on your own or go on YouTube and try to find the video. But my goal of today's video was to show you as detailed as I could possibly show you on how to put it together. So that's basically the SuperATV rear windshield for the Honda Talon. Take a little look from back here a little bit. That's basically what it looks like. So again, full coverage, which is really nice. Again, this really should help cut down on some of the wind and debris and dirt and leaves and whatever you're kicking up. It should stop a lot of that from coming back in through the cab and then circulating in the cab. So I can't wait to get out on the trails and try that out. But so far it does seem pretty good, and I'm really happy with the overall quality. But overall, installation really wasn't that horrible. Hopefully this video helps some of you out today. But overall, if you are considering a rear windshield for your UTV, I definitely recommend checking out SuperATV. I think they have great products, and their quality and customer service is pretty good as well. So my overall impression of the SuperATV rear windshield, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a thumbs up and give it a go. So there you go, everybody. We're finally done. We went ahead and we got the SuperATV polycarbonate rear windshield installed on my 2020 Honda Talon. Overall, the installation was not too bad. Again, the box doesn't really come with any instructions, so you have to rely on going to their website and checking out their video. But hopefully my video helps clarify a few things in regards to the install as well. But overall, it fits really well on the Honda Talon. I think it's clamped down nice and sturdy, so I'm not worried about that. The overall quality of the material is really good. It just shows some finger smudges a little bit easier, but again, not a big deal. Pretty much any windshield's gonna do that. They do also have a tinted version, which you could go with. I was tempted to go with it as well, but I was just worried that as soon as the sun goes down, or if I'm riding in the woods and it's a little bit darker, I wouldn't really be able to see clearly out of it. So that's what opted me to want to go with the clear windshield. But overall, I got it installed, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I can't wait to get out on the trails to test and see how well it does with keeping a lot of dirt and debris out of the cab. But that's it for today's video. I hope this video helps some of you out. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and like this video. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And also do me a favor, subscribe to the channel because it definitely helps me out, and I greatly appreciate it. So that's it. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. I truly appreciate you all. And as always, see you in the next video.